Just click OK.
Here it is. Here, go live here now.
Yes. Try that.
All right. I need to go like here. I think this is, see, and if I go like this, OBS, but on OBS it should be right. That's what I'm saying. It's not giving me what I want. See how it's behind me? It's 21 seconds behind.
So long as you're live, I mean, it should be okay.
Yeah, but I can't see what I'm talking about, you know? OBS. Well, it should be right in what I'm doing now. Should be good. Hide on stream. Hopefully, if I go to OBS, I should be able to have the chat.
Start broadcasting and start stream.
It's live. It's live now. It should be live now. It is. It's live now. Look, it's on now. See? And that's a little bit behind, but it should be live now. So hopefully, it works. It's yeah, this is bad.
Why don't you? What's that one? The one
That I got to be on here. All right, cool. All right. So sorry, we had a few technical difficulties. Some reason the first link that I made just got wiped out. I had to go through and reset things. So this has been the worst start of them all. I was saying to Dave that I had everything correct and everything right. And is it? Can you see it, babe? Just get some for my missus, see if it's on. I'm pretty sure it's working. So we'll go as it's live, and if it doesn't get recorded, it doesn't get recorded. Anyway, Dave, you know this is how it works. I'll have to look into this much more and get a bit better at this. But anyway, I'm going to introduce my partner in crime, and he's been called a thong hiking bush duff shirt wearing god. He eats magic mushrooms for breakfast and only carries red textures in his pocket. He came up with the term magic eye and was the #1 customer of the product Boost about 10 years ago, but didn't rate Peak or Sleep as a good product. So I'm going to introduce Mr. David I Hike in Thongs Reed. Welcome to the show, Mr. David Reed.
Oh, thank you very much, Ian. Wonderful to be here. I expect I'm going to be enlightened as to what's going on in the Yowie world.
Yeah, so it hasn't been a good start, but anyway, we got there in the end. So that's all they're going to do. It's just these things happen. It really put me on the spot. I had everything ready, and anyway. So we're going to talk today, Dave, about a new book that's come out by Paul Cropper and Tony Healy. And it's called The Yowie File, Encounters with Australian Ape Men. I've only just received this from Amazon. I'm not endorsing Amazon, that's just where I found it. It was $32. If you want to get it cheaper from somewhere else, you can. And it took about 4 days to arrive. It only turned up on my doorstep about when I come home today. So I flick through it, and it does start starting to rain here. It does start with the colonial era. So the colonial era is more when, you know, the first fleet arrived, so 1788 to 1900. And then it goes through to like the early modern era to the modern era here now, which is about 1974 onwards. And it has pictures and all that from a lot of AYR reports. It even has our mate that the truck hit, and that has a nice little picture here of Buckingham. He done
Withering.
Withering. All the illustrations. Buck did these, but he did not do the one on the cover. So look, after just flicking through this for I don't know, about half an hour, I will recommend this people to get it, because it does have a lot of information in it about sightings over the years from day one of you know, white people colonizing Australia. And if you want to go to places and think there might be a history of it, well, that it's in this book. And I have got the previous one, so there is a fair few pages. It's probably it's about 330 pages long. So for $32, it's just like information in your hand. You can grab it and read it anytime. And I highly recommend to get this book. So the Yowie File, Encounters with Australian Ape Men. So that's our first book review of Everything Yowie. And hopefully we get better with the starts. Well, that's my problem anyway. So this is only JD and Coke, so it's all good. So anyway, the first thing we're going to talk about other than the book review is about sound recordings. And there's not many people that are going out there with little sound recorders, like little Sony note takers. And Dave was the guy that put me onto sound recorders, because I remember asking you way back in the day, going back well over a decade, probably nearly 15 years ago, and I asked you what you use. And you said, just get a Sony note taker, they're really good to use. And I remember Troy Lloyd used to do it, you were doing it, and you still do it on occasion still. And you had Rusty and myself. I know Ray Doherty was doing it, and Dean Harrison on occasions. But
Vlad's still doing it.
Yeah, and you said Vlad's actually he's out there, got some gear out now, hasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, he's got himself a little research station off in Talaganda, I think. And he's been pondering a dead wallaby that turned up at the site, which was ripped in half and looks like its neck was twisted.
Yep.
So it's not jumping to any conclusion, but it's interesting enough to have a look at, even though it might be a bit gory. He's got some stuff going on where he's pottering around. And I'll know more about it next Wednesday because I'm going out with him overnight. So a fellow named Jason, myself and Vlad are going to go out. Well, we'll come back probably 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So, so I'll know more. He'll tell me all about it when I see him.
Well, that's good. Good that you guys are going out, because I don't know how many people are going out in the ACT area, because Dave's down there and he does hard yards, like goes out to these places when it's really, really cold. And you had a video on when you were in the tent and you could just see your breath coming out of your mouth as you're trying to record it on your phone. And I know all about those times. Or going out, but and they're good little tools to use, because when you go out and you want to know if an area is active, you leave it out there for a week, and you'll get you're going to get something come up to your sound recorder, or you're going to have something within the area. So please, you can get cheap ones, digital ones for $40 online, and they work just as good as ones. Well, the note takers I got going back 15 years, I'm still using it. They were about $100 then, $110. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, I found that was just the quality. I mean, I've tried those cheaper sound recorders. They either don't have enough memory or they just don't have enough, quality to the record.
Yeah, I think it's the settings. Because I set them onto lecture mode, and that so you can hear things further away from. So that's what I do, and I try to set a few different things like the wind and the hiss and all that kind of stuff. You try to make it as clear as possible. So, yeah.
But a couple of lithium batteries in a Sony note taker will go for 4 days. You know, so as long as it's not too cold.
Yeah, when it's cold, they just sap the power, don't they?
Sucks the power out of the battery, but but you know, it's a way of having your ears there 24 hours a day for 4 days. You know, that's a lot of hours of recording. You can't sit down physically and listen to 4 days of recording. So not only would it drive you mad, I suppose you wouldn't miss anything, but what a tedious process that would be.
Yeah.
but using an audio program, you can pick out the interesting bits in the waveforms that the program shows you.
Mm.
So if it's a nice still night, you get good nights for recording. Where you put the recorder out, there's not a breath of wind. It's a still night. There's no leaves or trees or anything, and you can hear any sounds quite distinctly without, so they actually show up on these waveforms because there's nothing in there, and then all of a sudden there's some
Peaks.
peaks and troughs.
But
Peaks.
sometimes, Dave, I've got some of my best wood knocks I've recorded, and they've hardly peaked, or they haven't even peaked on it because they're so far away, but it still picked them up pretty clear, and they didn't peak. And it's just that it's just that it happened. I had it going and listening, and I was doing something, and I went, "What was that?" So I've gone back, and then you can save it, and then make it a little bit louder. But yeah, you get used to the peaks when aeroplanes come in. The peak, the same kind of peak, and it's just, and it's going to get worse in the Blue Mountains when Badgerys Creek opens. So I'm going to be getting planes all the time. At the moment from 11 o'clock to about 7, there's no planes. So now sometimes it's going to be planes coming over every 30 minutes or something, or every 20 minutes. So it's probably going to wreck the area. I don't know what's going to happen. I have to work it out and see where the actual the way they're tracking. Anyway, we'll talk about a YouTube channel that you come across, sorry, called the Epic Duck. So please talk about the Epic Duck. And I've seen it for a little bit, but you're the expert on it, so you've got the floor.
Oh, he's just a young bloke putting videos up recently, and he's out Yowie researching, and he puts a bit of effort into the video. I find him quite a personable young man, and I'm just impressed with the people out there doing it. Actually putting the boots on the ground. And if they take a bit of video along the way, I think that's wonderful. It's a wonderful scenery that always goes along with any Yowie researching video. People tend to go to places that are a bit off the beaten track, which is lovely. So, yeah, but anyway, the duck, the Epic Duck.
The Epic Duck. So, do you rate the Epic Duck?
Sorry?
Do you rate him? Do you say people watch his channel?
Oh, yeah, go and have a look at his videos and follow him along and cheer him along. Who knows? He might be the one that gets the first
money
Yowie video. What's that?
The money shot,
the money shot. He might be the one that gets the money shot.
As Slapper McLeod used to say, one of your favourite researchers of all time. How many thongs out of 10 would you rate it? 10 being the best, 1 being 0, or 1 being bad?
Oh, I give him 9 because he hasn't gone silly.
He hasn't got no red texters or magic eye or paradise.
No, it doesn't appear to be. No, he seems to be quite upfront with what he's doing. He's I just enjoyed his videos. That's all.
Okay. Well, my favourite. Yeah. My favourite channel at the moment. It's called Gypsy Soldier. So have you escaped the Matrix?
Yes, no, I had this conversation with you the other night on Messenger. Yeah.
If anyone doesn't know, there's a guy out there and his YouTube channel's called Gypsy Soldier. I just love watching him. Got nothing to do with Yowies, but take some time to watch him. And my favourite videos are Warrior Mode, or The Path to Enlightenment, or The Matrix. It's just he's awesome. He's a bit out there. I think he's had about 15,000 magic mushrooms and every other drug possible, but he's very enjoyable to watch. So anyway, we're going to talk next about blurry pareidolia pictures that are constantly getting posted online, in Yowie groups or everywhere. And Kurt, Soldier is a tripper. I don't know. These things just get posted, and what they do is they say, "What do you reckon? What do you think?" And when people go, "There's nothing there," they start getting angry. And when they keep posting these blurry pictures, because I don't know about you or anyone else, but they film it with a phone. All right, I know we're kind of rehashing something, but I'm still going to go on about it. There is a video mode. If you think there's something there, why don't you take time to even video it with a shitty mobile phone camera? It's better than a picture. You can see more. The reason why is because there's nothing there. That's why they don't film it. So these pareidolia pictures they're never going to stop. It's been there since day one, since we've been involved in when we first got into the Yowies. So what have you seen lately, Dave, that about these pareidolia pictures?
Oh, an interesting one turned up was somebody claiming that I shine during the daytime,
Mm-hmm.
which opened up the conversation to go along. I left it at about this point, along the lines of, do eyes self-illuminate or do they not self-illuminate? And it started heading off down that rabbit hole.
Mm.
And but it's, I've never heard of eye shine in the daytime.
Me either.
So, yeah, so that was just an interesting one.
Mm. They talk about the tapetum at the back of the eye, which reflects, and then that's why you get different colours, because the tapetum in the back of the eye in different animals like kangaroos, possums, foxes, all these different animals have it. Dogs have it, cats have it, but humans, they don't have it. You just get that red eye kind of look when you take a photo. You get that red eye image. But I'm not. There's no animal that can self-illuminate its eyes like that. Not in the daytime. That picture you're talking about was actually could have been gaps in the bush, and it just happened to be like so far apart, or some sort of foliage that was dead for some reason, and it just had that look. But all right, there's two things there, but there's no body. There's nothing there. So why are you saying it's eye shine? It's not. And it's the same people posting it.
It's pareidolia, but pareidolia is real. It's but I think I'd still go back to what Rusty used to say when he put up on the forum years ago, and he put up a photograph, but he didn't draw red circles. He drew what he thought it was, and it had a Yowie, a thylacine, a this,
Hungry Jack
a
Burger,
Big
Mac.
Hungry Jack Burger.
Mm.
And all these things that you could pull out of any photograph with pareidolia, because that's the way the mind works. It's looking for recognisable patterns.
Mm.
And faces seem to be the thing.
Yeah.
2 eyes, a nose and a mouth, and ears, hopefully.
Mm.
But pareidolia. And you are right. If you're going to do anything, hit the record button on your video, because I don't know, you'll get more information out of a video than you will out of any still shot.
Yeah.
And unless it's standing out in the open, posing for the photograph, it's unlikely you're going to get a good photograph of anything with foliage around it anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, pareidolia. It's what I kind of read, where your mind is hardwired to see faces in things. So it comes from the ancient times, from our ancestors, thousands of years, hundreds of thousands, millions of years ago. How far humans' line goes back to the start, to try and work out. Well, pretty much it's a safety mechanism to see faces, even if they're not there, just so you go away from the area, so you're not eaten by some big tiger or a lion or whatever monster animal was around at the time. And it's still in our face now, in our brain now, where you can look up and you can see, like, clouds look like a shape of a person's face, or a car or an aeroplane, and you go, gee, that looks like a Big Mac, or that looks like someone riding a bike or something. It looks like Jesus' face or something like that. So that's all it is. So anyway, it's probably the last time we'll talk about it, because it's just the same idiots posting that shit all the time, and that's all they post. And then
Yeah, but what I do notice is there are people are awake up to it now. It's not something as so prolific where people don't say anything. You used to get a lot of, oh yeah, that's fabulous. I can see exactly what you're talking about, etc., etc. But now there are people turning around saying, no, look, pareidolia is real, and that they're making comments like that. And sorry, I can't see anything but trees. But it depends on that's accurate feedback that should let the person know that maybe I'll think about putting up that next photograph and claiming it's a Yowie.
But that leads us
But
into the second part, or the third part of our talk. That's if you're allowed to speak your mind in the group and not be held that accountable, that you can't speak your mind because the person who runs it doesn't want you to say anything other than agree with what they're saying. And that comes to our next one, which is the Yowie Buster time. Now, there was a photo that come up, and I'm going to try and screen share this. So this is new to me. And it come up by Stetz's, well, I don't know, some loony, Leona Drunk or something, Bunk. Anyway, she put this picture up and said, this is a picture of a baby Yowie, blah, 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 bullshit. It's not a picture, it's actually a video. You can see in the top left-hand corner, there's a square with a triangle in it. That says it's a video. And she's got red, well, it has to be red, and she's scratched out a date or a time or something in it. And so what are they hiding? I'm just going to try and find it now on the screen. It's going to go a bit dodgy for a sec, boys and girls, but I'm just going to try and see if I can share a screen. This is new to me, so just bear with me. It's not all right. Share. I've got to pick this, so it should be my screen sharing. Can you see my screen sharing? Is it sharing the picture now, Dave?
no.
No. What's going on? It's not. So, give me a sec. Like I said, it's all new to me. I'm just trying to get to the. It should be sharing the screen, like when we. I understand. Says entire screen. Okay. Can you see it now?
No.
No. Because you've seen it before. I showed you that before. I'll try one more
Yeah.
time. Yeah, we did it. We practiced it because it just come on today. Sorry, boys and girls. I just want to try and get this so you can see it. Entire screen. Yeah, we did it earlier. That's weird. It's not working. So you can still just see me and you, eh?
Yeah.
Oh my god. What's happening? Try one more second. It's new. This is all new. I'm just trying to get something on here. So I'm trying to get there. Window. Alright, can you see it now?
Yes.
Yes. Alright, I can see it now. Alright. Now, there is something to the right hand side of the screen. Tick what thing? Sorry, my wife is showing me So Dave and myself can see. Can you see it, babe? No, it'll come up. You're just a little bit behind, so it's coming on the screen. Sorry. There's a little bit of a, like you can see, I'm kind of circling here. It looks like a little animal of some sort. So the reds got there and scratched out something. So there's something getting hidden. And then the left-hand side is a square and a triangle. So this is a road. I didn't worry about doing the daytime one, but this is the only picture. And she says it's a baby Yowie. There's nothing, so it's way at the back there now, is it? Okay, I can't really make it any bigger than what it is. I'm trying to make it as big as I can. This is a first for us here. So yeah, it's not a baby Yowie. It's something on all fours. It could be a possum, some maybe...
A cat?
Sorry, Dave?
A cat?
A cat? Yeah, it could be something like that. Yeah, I'm trying to make it big, but I can't do anything. Sorry, babe. I'm trying to... This is the first for me, so I'm trying to... I just worked this out just before we got online. So, yeah, it's possibly a cat or something like that. So I'm just... At least, if you go on there... I'll try and do it better next time. I'll try and get a better picture. I'm just trying to get us back online here. Yeah, so that's basically the picture there. And she was saying that it was a baby Yowie or something like that. But like these people, the things that they say on here, you know, they pretty much, if you don't agree with them, they tell you that you're an F-wit. Or, you know, you don't know how sick I am, and, you know, and you don't know who I am. That's what this Leona Bunk said. Well, if you're sick, why are you on Facebook arguing with people in the first place? And there's people there that are just saying that I don't think is what you're saying it is. I think it's just some sort of native animal or some sort of introduced species like a cat or a or a fox or something like that. And then once the people have all left, with the way they talk to these people, I know 2 people actually reported, both Leona and Stets, for being, you know, virtually swearing and telling them off. I thought this was Australia, and I thought you had the right to say anything, you know, that you thought that, you know, you think that this is what the animal is. It's wrong. These people should not be able to run a group and run it like they're in a communist country. And if you don't agree with the regime, you're out.
That's the thing right across Facebook, mate. It's in all groups. It just seems to be particularly virulent in Yowie groups. But it used to be like that in all the Bigfoot groups I used to be in as well. It ends up just being regurgitated rubbish and pareidolia. So, you know, yeah, but I suppose people are always trying to find content to put up, and they'll put up any drivel, you know, that you can come across. You know, there's 13 things that thing on the ground could have been, and we're leaping to the conclusion that it's a baby Yowie. You know, it's so yeah, it's yeah. I don't know. I suppose you can believe that your photographs of anything, that the photograph you've taken is of anything, and be convinced of it 100%. But don't become abusive to people that don't want to go along with your fantasy. You know.
Yeah, but as long if someone doesn't agree with you, Dave,
or your delusion. So
yeah, exactly. But if someone doesn't agree with you, but they write what they think it is in you know, they're not calling you a fuckwit, and they're not, you know, they're doing it in a proper manner. They're writing it, this is what I think it is because this is my view and it's my view only. They shouldn't get ridiculed by the people running it and then say, oh, yeah, they've left because we're going to get the axe and boot them out anyway because they didn't agree along my lines. Imagine these people were running the country, and then the people that said, no, we're going to vote you out. No, you're not voting me out. That doesn't agree with me. Let's get rid of all the voting system, and I'm going to stay in as a dictator as long as I live. That's how these people run. That's how they would be.
That's the premise behind Facebook groups. I mean, I heard of some Facebook groups where the person who started it puts another admin on who then kicks him out. And, so there's all these Facebook groups that are probably still operating that are not operating with the intention of the original person that started it.
You can't boot out the person who starts the Facebook group now. You can boot all the other admins. So just say I made a group, and then I put you in and another couple of people. You can boot all the other admins, but you can't boot me out because I started it. Because a lot of people, I think, they complained and said, "Oh, I lost my group," and then Facebook put that in. I don't know how long ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, but anyway. If you
anyway, I don't see Facebook as being the most reliable source of information when it comes to the Yowie world. That's all.
It is not. But if you want to join a group and look at people arguing and people being like they're in a communist regime, get on Yowie Busters. They're pretty good at doing that. And but no, they just rehash the old shit, and it's basically Stats and Leona and this Tanya Walker, Sheila, and another one, and it's what they say goes, and everyone else can get effed. That's basically what it is. So, and old Stats only walks about 5 minutes from his car anyway. That's his amount of his this length of his Yowie researching. So, yeah. So, and Leona Bunk, if you just say no, this is what I think it is, she just goes off the rocker. Like she hasn't had a drink on the next day and she needs to get onto the. I think she's been drinking mineral turpentine or metho too much. Anyway, we're gonna get off the old busters. We're gonna get off the old busters, and this is one that Dave will enjoy talking about. J&J Yowie Search. I think they're back.
I saw a video about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Was it any better than the other ones?
They're in the rainforest.
We're in the rainforest.
No, I don't. I can't watch very much of their videos. I'm sorry, mate, but no, I did see their 2 happy, smiling faces there. So they're back together. It's a shame because they had a YouTube channel with hundreds of videos on it. J&J Yowie Search, and they were on television and everything.
Yeah, they kind of had a bit of a bust up because what I was told that one of the people stole equipment and owed money to the other one, so they broke up and had a big fight. So maybe somehow they made up. That was just a story that I got, but they were like the number one sellers of the product Boost, and you were like their number one customer. You're buying Boosts. Boost is a little bit like popping Eckies, I think, and keeps you awake all night. Keeps you Yowie searching for 3 days. So anyway, J&J are back, and they had a couple of dodgy videos, and they did go out in the bush, and they tried to burn green wood, and it was all smoke everywhere. You couldn't see anything because the wood, you can't burn green wood. So anyway, that's the J&J back, and
no, I think the head torch under the blanket behind the bush with the apple.
Oh yeah, they're kind of like this.
Was the one that got me.
And it's going like this. And well, why would you put a camera behind bushes? Like you need a clear view. Like every time I put my cameras up, I try and get the clearest view I can. So there's nothing going in front of it like wind, and it triggers it off for no reason. So.
No. But anyway, they're back. They're back. I don't know whether they're a serious team on the internet anymore, but they did put a video. Yeah, they've put a video up.
I'll give them one thing. They do go
Yeah.
out, and they go out at night, and they put a bit of effort in. That is like, that's it, you know. And once you're hoaxing, you're always hoaxing. It's just the way it is, you know. If you can't be hoaxing, and next minute you're legitimate, you know. It's it's just the way it is. I was asked during the week by Vlad to put up the show and talk about the handprint that I did a cast of in Glenbrook. I was going to show the pictures on the screen, but the reason why the other one was small of that trail camera picture, because when I clicked the option entire screen, it wouldn't let me work it. So I tried to pick the window one, which let me work. I don't know, some reason why it's not doing it. Nothing's working tonight. But anyway, this is the handprint, and you can see the fingers up here, and then there's like a thumb here. That part that's just here is like this part on your hand, and then all here is just like your thumb here. So that's pretty much how big that is compared to my hand. I'll just move it over. So you can see it's not a big hand at all, and I haven't got a huge hand, but I'm not even got a small hand, but it's probably about 6 inches long, and you can see the gap here in between here and here for like grabbing on branches. You know, it's extra long than ours. I did go and compare it to a wombat print, and that's a wombat print. Where the wombat print, you can see how the fingers at the end where the claws are, they pop up like this, and the pad there is way bigger than the suspected Gunjidi print that I got, and you can see the fingers don't even pop up at all like the wombat print. They're pretty flat, and this part here isn't that big all through here. I'm just trying to do it this way, like all around here. So that I did go to Megalong Valley near the old Ford Reserve, which is a Yowie sightings, and I found a wombat hole, and I've got photos and everything, and I've cast so it's 100% wombat print. I did have a better print than this that I could have cast, but I did get to the Glenbrook area really late. It was 2017. It was about October. I think it was like the 10th or 11th or something, or 12th of October, and I didn't get back there for I think it was the next day, and I cast it, and it was the only one that wasn't out of the water because it rained, and the creek had actually risen by probably a couple of feet, and it covered all the footprints and the handprints. And then good to see the dog showing his face. He can give a review on the Epic Duck too. Anyway, so this is the handprint that I have got. I'm sure I've got a video of it on my YouTube channel, but if I haven't, I will make one. So you can see how elongated the hand is. I did have a bottom half to this to say it's not like a double step of a wombat, but the bottom part of this here doesn't match the back bottom foot of a wombat. So the wombat one is actually, you know, quite big and wide here, where this one's actually a lot smaller. I'm trying to do my best here with the screen so you guys can see it to get them together. But yeah, that's the Gunjidi. Suspect, I'm not saying 100% it is, you must agree. If you don't, I'm going to boot you out of the my group, which my group is the Yowie Forum. If you want to get on the Yowie Forum and have your say and speak your mind, you can. It's all just about Yowies, Bigfoot, and it's a forum, so it's not a group. It's just to post things and talk about them. So hopefully you guys can see that print quite well. It's been a few years since I cast it. And there's just the wombat print, so you can see the wombat print close up. You can see how the fingers So that's the print there. So there were under where the creek was. It was like it was pretty much where I filmed that real big one. That same creek, and I've got sound recordings of something jumping off the rock ledge like 2 meters up, and you can hear the feet hit the bank of the creek, and then it goes through the water, and the water gurgles around it, and then it goes up to the other side. And I did set up sound recorders and trail cams. I never got anything on the trail cam, but the sound recorders I got a lot of stuff. So I've had them cast for a long time. I haven't been down there for a while. They did have the fire go through there before the 2019-2020 bushfires that wreaked havoc. I think it was 2018, and it burnt right up top of that mountainside there on the other side of the ridge. It didn't go down to where those prints were, but I did find. I went there with another guy. He wanted to come out and do research, and so we went across the ridge and went down south towards the Glenbrook Creek and direction, and we found like 3 fingers that were in loose sand under a rock ledge, and there was no signs of any footprints or any shoe prints or anything there, and they'd probably been there for a while. So who would go there and put their hand in and just put 3 fingers in there? So it was like the fingers that looked like it was the pinky and the pointer, not the pointer, the index finger and the middle finger. So yeah, that was really weird. So I found a lot of good things at Glenbrook, and I want to go out soon during Christmas. I'm hoping it's probably the weather like it is now. It's not too hot, and I might go out for a night by myself. Where I went to at I think it's like a Hazelbrook, Lawson kind of area in the Blue Mountains, and go in a bit further and see what I get, and just spend a night in there. And just not even have no fire or nothing, because it's going to be high fire danger, and just see what, have the thermal out in the sound dish, and hopefully there's no wind, and see what I get. So so you're planning to go out soon, Dave? You're saying with Vlad?
Yeah, next Wednesday night.
Next
Wednesday night.
So you guys are lucky. You get to go out during the week.
Sorry?
You guys are lucky. You get to go out during the week when there's less chance of bumping into humans, like at
no, we were going to camp out there, but Vlad's got to get his kids to school the next morning, so he's just going to put in an all-nighter and come home. We'll come back about 3 in the morning or something like that.
Okay, that's all right. You can do that during the summertime. You wouldn't want to be doing it during winter, so not down where you guys are.
Oh, mate, get a helmet. Life's hard,
If anyone wants to ask any questions, we'll be up for questions for the next, 5-10 minutes or something. Because we've talked about everything. We've got the book, the Yowie File, by Tony Healy and Paul Cropper. After just flicking through it for a half an hour, I got it for $32 on Amazon. I'll try and see if I got a video. If you look on for my YouTube channel, the Australian Yowie, which we're on now, there should be something on those casts. I think I did do something. Just trying to. I'm just glad this got working today, because it was just at the start. It was just so bad. So Darren says Yowie Hunter's audio witness reports on YouTube is legitimate and authentic in my humble opinion. So I do too, because it's.
I agree, 100%. 100%.
Because look, when you hear people talking about their encounter with something that they've never seen before, they know there's a folklore about Yowies, but when they actually see it, the truth just comes out so clean. It just comes out. When you're lying, you kind of contradict yourself because you're lying. It's made up. You don't know what you said 5 minutes ago, and then all of a sudden you can tell people this. sometimes I hear reports and I'm kind of like, I'm a bit iffy about this person, but some of them just come out so crystal clear and smooth, and you just know this person's seen what they're saying. So that's always good. What else is there? Any questions, anyone? No one's really. Dan, have you got any foot casts? Any you can show us next time? I have got a foot cast, but it was only the one that was in Tracking the Law, and it really doesn't show nothing. It's just got the shape of a foot, and it's not really anything defined, but it's actually got a big rock where the ball of the foot is. It's actually where they've got in. It's jammed this rock into the mud there, and when I did the cast, the rock come out with the cast. So that was the only print there, but it was in this area down the south coast that there was only just one print, and it was on an angle. So the trail kind of went around on an angle, and it was I think it was a right foot by memory. So I've got that cast, but it really doesn't show much. But the cast that I did, I wish I did have, was the one that I took I got a video of it, the one at Lindeman's Pass. So if people don't know about Lindeman's Pass, it's between the Valley of the Waters, which is just the other side of Wentworth Falls. If you go along the road to Wentworth Falls and you turn off towards Conservation Hut, you go down to Conservation Hut and you walk down, and it's Empress Falls, and it just keeps going down the water all the way down to Vera Falls in the valley. It takes about 2 hours to get into Vera Falls, and it's quite a big waterfall. And if you're going probably about halfway between the top of Valley of the Waters to Vera Falls, there's Roberts Pass, and you join onto Roberts Pass, and as you go along Roberts Pass, there's another trail that veers off, and it's called Lindeman's Pass, and you go from there, and you can get all the way around to Lura. I've never been all the way. We only went, it was my sons and myself, and my sons were about 12 or 13 at the time, and they're 22 years old now, so you're looking at about 10, 11 years, and we come across an area where people have been going through Lindeman's Pass, and there was all footprints or shoe prints of people hiking, so you can see the soles of the boots. And then there's these 4 prints that were going not along the trail, because this area was just, when you go along trails, you get one muddy area and everywhere else is dry. It's just where the water comes off the ridge. And all the shoe prints were going along the trail, and these 4 prints were going across it. So I come from up the ridge, from up in the valley to go up the ridge. And I looked at the 4 prints. I didn't take a picture of them. I don't know why, but they'd all caved in on themselves. So, because I went back when I saw this print, I went, gee, this thing's come across the trail. And I checked it, yeah, this is the right size, this is caved in. And I went, this is the only one it showed like 3 toes, a big, like the ball of the foot was probably as big as about a tennis ball. And then the foot was about 42 centimeters long, or was 42 centimeters long, but it was only really narrow, which was probably, you're looking at probably 12 centimeters wide, not that big. It's only probably less, probably 10. But it was just the weird shape. If it had been a footprint from, I was trying to think, was it a double print where someone trod here and someone trod there? But it didn't have the dirt around it. Just looked like it was one single print. I did study it for a while. I wish I had some casting material. I would love to have as a cast, because when you cast things like here, you can't see everything in it. When I did this, like I had a photo of it, I did not know there was a bottom part, which is here, to the handprint. I thought it was just like the fingers and here and that's it. But then you see the gap in the middle, all these other parts started coming out in the cast, which you don't get when you just look at it when it's in the dirt. And then you can, sometimes you can see like the lines, like the lines on your hands, and they come out in the cast. And dermal ridges, they're called. And they said on the Yowie, or in the American Bigfoot, they said in the feet and that, they go sideways along it, where we got in our hands and our feet, they go up and down, but in the Yowies, they seem to go sideways. So they go a different direction with their prints that are, which is what everyone's got on their fingers and they're on your hands, and they go sideways. And that was from Jeff Meldrum, and he's a university professor about feet and hands. That's what his job is. Kurt says, where did you see the small one looking at you behind a tree? Well, that was not far from where I got these. It was probably 50 metres. If it's on the Red Hands Caves Trail at Glenbrook, and
I've been there.
yeah, so you went there to see that actual site where I had to see the big one, but after I seen that, I set trail cams and sound recorders, and I really didn't get much other than the like native birds like lyrebirds, and one like wallaby. But yeah, that followed me from at the start. There's like an overhang just as you start the cave, and it pretty much go about 100 metres, and it paralleled me through the bush for probably a good K. And I thought I got there before it, and then when I was looking, it was like I got the footage, and I got a towel with my camera here, the towel holding the rain off, and it was like a thick kind of mist, and it was all fog coming in, and I was trying to like film it, but because it was on a ridge going up, I was overshooting. I pointed the camera too high, and instead of having it too low, so I actually pointing to the top of the trees of the bushes there instead of below. So I should have had it just above straight, and I would have got it something there, but I had it too high, and I still kick myself to this day because it blinked at me and moved, and that was the picture of it in tracking Search for Australia's Bigfoot, and had like a blue-grey face. And there was one guy that used to go up to the Blue Mountains, and he said he was a bit funny, but he did say to me that they have a blue-grey face, and I'd never said that to anyone before. I never mentioned the colour of its face, and when he mentioned me that, I thought maybe he has seen them, this guy, but he'd go a bit weird, so I never really bothered to chase anything up with him, mainly because he told me he'd take me to his spot, and he wanted to take me there with a blindfold on. So I didn't want to come another murder victim. That's how weird this guy was. Yeah, that's what he wanted to do. So I call him the Phantom because he turns up every 3 or 4 years and starts talking shit about Yowies, and then he disappears like the Phantom. So he's the ghost who walks, this guy. And yeah, he turns up. I know his name. I'm not going to say his name, but anyway, it's teed up for an overnight. Overnight where, Kurt? Into Glenbrook. Well, yeah, I've been there. I've been there doing a night hike, and we walked through the whole area, me and someone else, and we probably walked 15 k's that night, all along the Red Ends Cave Trail. Walked down the road that you drive into the cave, and we walked all the way along there. We had an hour swoopers, and then we got back onto the main road, come all the way back to the causeway, and we didn't see or hear anything. But I wouldn't mind going to where, across from where, down on the creek where I filmed the big one, and there's like an overhang. I wouldn't mind just sitting there and maybe spending 4 or 5 hours just being quiet and having the sound dish and the thermal, and just keep seeing if something comes along, because I have got a few good sound recordings there over the period of time. And I really haven't gone back since that fire, and I think it's probably time to do that soon. I'd rather do it more in a winter time than a summertime, because you got the snakes that will still come around at night, and then you've got the Blue Mountains funnel webs, which I think around springtime they come out to breed, and they just go everywhere, and you get one of them biting you. You're not going to get out at night before you start feeling really bad and probably die. You got to walk up that causeway, which will make your heart pump and just push that venom through your body. So I'd rather do this, go there when it's winter time, and all you got to worry about is leeches, and that's it, and Yowies.
Fair
Um,
enough.
anyone else want to ask a question? It's getting about 55 minutes now, so we might pack it up. And what we're going to do, are we going to do a Christmas special, Dave?
Yeah, next month.
Are you going to dress
A
up as Santa?
December Christmas special for sure.
Yeah, so we're going to
I'm
have.
waiting to see you in that elf mankini you bought.
Could be well, I haven't got the thongs yet, so I can't. I haven't got the mankini thongs yet, so I probably can't show you this Christmas. I might have to wait till next year.
Oh, what a shame.
Some John McDermott says, I don't think some people are not ready to accept their existence. I had my encounter 40 years ago. I'm not in a hurry to have another. John, have you sent your experience to the AYR, to Dean Harrison, so he can put it in the library there, it's a good thing to do, because then people get to read your story and what you were feeling and what you saw and whereabouts it was. So I know I did that with my Junjity one, and mine was the first Junjity recording on the AYR Yowie Hunters site. The only thing it was 45 degrees. I had people in the house. I had to go outside and just hear the air conditioner humming in the background, and it wasn't a good interview. I wish I could do it again, but anyway. Darren says, has anyone read Scott Carpenter's book, The Sasquatch DNA Study? He claims there is human DNA and some unknown DNA in these creatures. I don't delve into anything American, anything Bigfoot, Sasquatch. I like watching documentaries about them and stuff like that, but I would just worry about Yowies and in Australia. That's just me. There's too many.
I think Scott Carpenter died recently.
Oh, okay, did he?
I'm pretty sure I heard he died recently.
Okay, I don't know who he is. I've never heard him before.
He's an American researcher.
Okay.
Very much into the dog man.
Okay, dog man.
Yeah.
So yeah, the dog man. Even though that I've got friends that talk about dog man, I'm still on the fence. I'm not saying no, because people say that to me about Yowies, like, it's not true, and I say, come out with me and I'll show you, or you can see and listen to things that you can't explain. Dog man, I'm still on the fence, because before the Americans started talking about dog man, there's nothing that I can see there'll be nothing in this book that will talk about. I'm pretty sure it'll say anything about Dogman, and this is going back to the first fleet when we first come in. So I'll read it and see if there's anything about Dogman. If there was, it would be in this book. So for some reason, when the Americans start talking about things, it kind of comes over to here, and then people start saying, "Oh, it's a Dogman." I'm like, I don't know. I'm iffy on this Dogman thing.
I'm not big on it.
Yeah, it's just like, it could be where the Yowie might be disfigured and might just have a snout coming out for some reason. It might be, like you get people that get, they're born and they, something's wrong with their face and they look really weird for some reason, because their body's making too much fat, or the glands are all going out of whack or something. It could be like that. And I'm just looking here. Yeah, they're saying this Scott Carpenter passed away, so it's unfortunate. And Kurt says Meldrum claims the same thing, but nothing conclusive. They were talking about they had DNA, but they said they had a dead body. Next minute, some guy's got it when his dad's left in a freezer for so many years, and he brings it out, and it's just like parts of a bear put together. So yeah, I do not go into anything American too much. I'm just worried about doing my own research, and there's too much bullshit going on around the world to kind of get into it all. The Americans, I don't know, they kind of, what could I say, what's the word? They kind of dramatize everything, and they go too big, I just I'm just more down to earth. You know, I just kind of, I kind of, you know, put my fingers in the water a bit, but I, you know, I don't dive in to watch a lot of their stuff. Shane's going, Yowies could be a descendant of the same monkey or cavemen as humans are. You don't know. It could be on the same tree and they just went on different branches. It's actually a good podcast that I was telling Dave and a couple other friends that are into Yowies called Evolution Soup. And a guy, he interviews all these people that are archaeologists, or what they call them, they're looking for ancient humans and ancient apes and all that stuff that going back hundreds of thousands of years to millions of years or whatever, how old they are. And he's actually interviewing the people that actually are doing the digging, and they explain everything so well. It's really good. These people are professionals. And if you watch Evolution Soup, I get there and lay in bed and I don't watch the video, I just listen to them. Because there is a video and they show you bits and pieces of the skull that they've found of the Denisovans, and Homo erectus. They're talking about Homo erectus. They'll talk about a couple that there's one that's been found that's actually on some other line now. So is that like related to Yowies? It was I think the guy was from like Portugal or something, so he had a bit of an accent. He did pretty well speaking English though. So Evolution Soup, if you want to watch something that's got professionals talking about ancient humans and hominids and hominoids or whatever you want to call them, hominins, that's good. Dogman, Nunanbar Valley has heaps. I have heard them there at night. Oh well, maybe Justin Powell get a sound recorder or a trail cam and set it up and see if you can record them and put them on a group and let everyone listen to them. Kurt says, Dogman to me is like Mothman, urban legend. Yowie and Bigfoot are more plausible due to the evolution of trees. Yeah, I'll go along with that. But I'm still on the fence about Dogman. And it says the Scott Carpenter was a very scientific professional researcher. Homo naledi. There's all these different Homo ones that go from, you got habilis and naledi, and you've got heaps of them that go along. And they were saying that the Denisovans, they said people like in the Philippines and Southeast Asia have got more percentage of that than anyone else in the whole world. So they reckon they might have evolved in that area and it's still coming through. They might have, mixed with Homo sapiens, and the Denisovans died out and the Homo sapiens lived, but they got set up to 4% in their blood, where not normal, but other humans are from different areas, say from Africa and from Europe, and maybe have 1 or 2% or nothing at all. So that's what there was one about that on the Evolution Soup. Yowie Monsters is my soup. Okay. Anyway, Justin Powell, will you go with me? Won't go there alone. Whereabouts is this place, Justin? Tell me where it is. Nunanbar. Where's Nunanbar? Do you know where Nunanbar is?
No.
Let's look it up while we're here. We're going a bit long today, but anyway, that's what happens. Well, let's have a look. Nunanbar. Someone might say to me where it is. I'm trying to look on the Nunanbar. It's in Queensland. Well, I'm in New South Wales, so I'm not going to be able to get there. Well, it's just over the border. So it's just west. Nunanbar is just, it's around Springbrook, Beachmont. All right, so it's around that area. That's where, it's not really that far from where the boys got the thermal footage that Buckingham got. So, and Buck does all the drawings in this book. So, and there's a bit of a piece about him too. So, look, I don't research in Queensland. I haven't got time to get there. So, if you want someone to go with you, the best thing to do is probably contact Dean Harrison, maybe Gary Lynn. They're the boys that live around that area, and they'll be able to go with you. Maybe Ron Quinton from the South Coast Yowie Trackers. They're the guys that do the research up there. Ask one of them guys. Anyway, I think we've gone way over time today because of the stuff up in the morning. Oh, in the morning, sorry. I'm stuffing up now in the at the start of this. And well, hopefully we'll be back in about a month's time. Probably do it about a week before Christmas, eh, Dave? Is that
Yeah,
good for
sounds
you?
good.
Yeah,
Yeah, it sounds good.
yeah. So we'll hopefully get more material, and hopefully I'll delve into this so I can maybe put the screen up, and it just things aren't working for me tonight. It's been really bad with technology to get this up and running. So anyway, Dave, once again, thanks for being my partner in crime and talking about everything Yowie. It shows you how professional, not Dave is, how I am, because I can't get things running smoothly. And so if anyone wants to have their say about anything on the Yowie World, I have got a Facebook group called the Yowie Forum, and you can say whatever you want in there about Yowies and whatever you think, and you won't get booted because it's a forum. It's about asking questions and talking. And Dave, what's your YouTube channel again? So I'll give it a bit of a plug.
Just David Rowan Reed, Rohan.
And he'll be having a video out shortly within a few days because you're going out next week. You're going next Wednesday, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you probably within Thursday or Friday next week he'll have his latest video up. And
All going well. All going well. Yeah.
before I go, someone's talking about Penrose. Shane, are you talking about Penrose State Forest? Anyway, always hiking thongs. Yeah, exactly. That's what Kurt said. But it's nothing to do with Yowies. I won't go into it, but I will not be venturing into Penrose State Forest again at night. That's all I say. Anyway, yeah, so that's it. Yeah, Shane, yeah, I won't be going to Penrose. I'd rather go to Belangolo. And some shit happened there when we were filming Trucking in the Law, I'm telling you now. And it wasn't Yowie related. Anyway, we're out of here. We're going way over time. And hopefully you guys, even though it was a bit of a stuff up at the start, you enjoyed it. You have a good night, Dave. I know you want to go to bed. It's past your bedtime. And always hike in thongs. See ya.
Always talking songs. Bye.